With the sharp rise in books being banned, as well as the continued onslaught of protests against drag queen story hours, it's become clear that right-wing activists have set their sights on bringing the culture war to the library, making it a focal point in the battle against intellectual freedom and inclusivity. Joining me now, Brooks Rainwater, President and CEO of the Urban Libraries Council. Brooks, welcome to the Saturday Show. Thank you for being here.
Great to join you today.
Okay, so the American Library Association in 2021 counted at least 729 censorship attempts, targeting a record 1,597 books. Once the full data is released, 2022 is set to overtake that record. How are libraries dealing with all of this, with these book bans in particular?
Well, we've really seen an acceleration of book bans all throughout the country, but particularly in certain states. And as this has happened time and time again, librarians are just feeling incredibly challenged. You know, librarians went into the profession in order to help people with literacy, in order to bring people together in community spaces. And the expectation that you would have this number of book bans impacting libraries is just phenomenal and out of all sorts. You know, we haven't seen anything like this since the McCarthy era.
And so then how are, I mean, they're under a lot of pressure, librarians. How are they dealing with it? Are these things that they are encountering for the first time? Or have book bans been things that they've had to deal with, but not to this degree?
Sure, book bans have always existed. You've always had people that have challenged books. The difference being the degree and the scale of people kind of pushing against books, particularly those books written by people of color and LGBTQ+ writers, and talking about ways that people can really see themselves in books. And so you see this focus point of how they're going after books, what is being banned, and that really seems to be the incredible challenge that we're faced right now.
So, you know, librarians, as you're talking about, you know, they're facing these battles. And the Washington Post did a big story, I think it was last week, focusing in on librarians around the country. And I think we have the full screen of the quote. In Idaho, a librarian resigned last fall after a bullying campaign that included armed men standing in the back of board meetings. A librarian in Louisiana who received a death threat after opposing censorship said she installed a home security system, bought a taser, and sleeps, quote, with a gun under my bed. Have you and the Urban Libraries Council, how are you helping librarians do their job without risk of losing their jobs or facing violence?
Absolutely. I mean, at the Urban Libraries Council, we're an innovation action tank on behalf of the leading library systems. And what we're doing is creating resources for them, whether that's the Declaration of Democracy that we just launched last November, where we're having librarians sign on, really talking about the challenges that they're faced with book bans and things that they can do, creating resources alongside that, working on the ground together with them. And then finally, working with other organizations that are also in common cause to make sure that we're pushing back against these incredible bans. And I would also say that you're seeing positive stories like the Brooklyn Public Library that has their Books Unbanned program, where they've offered e-content to teenagers and young adults all throughout the country that want to be able to read those banned books. So I really feel like there's a push and pull happening right now where we are going to make a change in what's happening in the country.
What do you say to those librarians who basically are in inhospitable climates, in places where there just aren't like local support or vocal support? What do you say to them about how to handle these things?
I say really that we're here for you. We're here to help you, as well as organizations like ALA, to make sure you have the resources at hand. It's going to be a challenge. I mean, there are many inhospitable places in the country right now on issues like this. I've worked on local democracy issues for years, and we saw this happening in cities, particularly those that are blue cities and red states. But now it's gotten even broader than that, and particularly as we see challenges in places like Florida, Texas, and other states. I fear, at least in the short to medium term, we're going to continue to have these challenges. Long term, I'm always an optimist.
Right, I'm always an optimist too, but man, it's like going through hell in the short term. But so we focus a lot of attention on the librarians, but are communities galvanized to support their libraries and their librarians?
Absolutely. I mean, I tell you about the story in Alameda County where you had the Pride Boys disrupt a drag queen story time. And in response, the community came together and decided rather than having just celebrating Pride Month, they'd have Pride Month all year. Really coming together and saying, this isn't how we want to live within our community. We don't want our children scared from far-right activists coming in and disrupting our story times.
Why do you think, of all things, Drag Queen Story Hour has become like the obsession of the far right?
I mean, it's tough to say other than they saw this as like one particular thing and everybody globbed onto it. And particularly when you get groups like the Proud Boys and others on the far right that see something that they feel like can be that piece that they can get others together, that's really, I think, what the challenge has become.
How important is it, we're talking about the far right, do you wish that, more moderate Republicans would come out and be vocal advocates on behalf of librarians and libraries?
I really do. And I think we have seen that, particularly when you talk about issues like intellectual freedom, which cut across left and right, because there have also been challenges with banned programming that you've seen within certain cities and communities. And so I think at the end of the day, moderate Republicans are going to get on board and do truly want to stand against book bans. I mean, when you look at the data out of the American Library Association, 71% of people support not banning books. And so I think that number you really need to sit with because that clearly includes a lot of Republicans as well as Democrats.
A great way to end this conversation. Brooks Rainwater, President and CEO of the Urban Libraries Council, thank you very much for coming to the Saturday Show.